Welcome to the deep dive. Ever wondered how some buildings just, well, work? They feel right, they're efficient, good for the planet.
Yeah, there's often a method behind that feeling.
Exactly. And today we're diving into what's often the secret sauce, the Integrative Design Process, or IDP. Think of it like getting the whole band together before they write the song, making sure everyone's playing in tune from the first note.
That's a great analogy, actually. It's all about that early harmony.
We'll be looking at this mainly through the lens of LEED V5, specifically the IPc1 credit. And hey, if this world of thoughtful, smarter building design sounds interesting, definitely hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss future deep dives.
Good call.
Okay, so let's unpack this IDP. What's the core idea, especially in LED5? What are we really talking about here?
Well, at its heart, IPc1 and LEED V5 is all about driving early, and I mean really early, collaboration. It's about getting everyone with a stake in the project, architects, engineers, sustainability folks, the owner, maybe even contractors into the same room, figuratively or literally, right at the beginning.
Not just waiting until problems pop up later.
Exactly. The whole goal is to look at the building holistically right from the get-go. How can we optimize its performance? How can we reduce costs over the entire life cycle, not just up front? And of course, how do we boost sustainability in a meaningful way?
So it's more than just an initial meet and greet then. What are the actual requirements? What does AEV5 make you do?
Right. It's structured. First, you've got to formally assemble this integrative team. And the emphasis is on early.
Why so early?
Because you need those diverse perspectives before major decisions get locked in. An engineer might see an energy-saving opportunity the architect missed, or a water specialist might flag something about the site early on. It's about finding those synergies, those win-wins, that you just wouldn't spot if everyone was working in their own little bubble.
Makes sense. Get the collective brain power focused from day one. Okay, what's next after assembling the team?
Then comes what they call pre-design analysis and exploration. This isn't just sketching ideas. It's digging into the hard data.
Like what kind of data?
Things like the site conditions, solar exposure, wind patterns, water availability, and crucially, early energy and water modeling, using analysis tools before you finalize the design shape or systems.
So you're running simulations and calculations right at the start.
Pretty much. Think energy modeling to test different orientations or window types, or maybe doing a water budget analysis to see how rainwater harvesting could realistically work for this specific project. It's about making informed choices, not just guessing. We've seen projects where this early analysis leads to, say, tweaking the building form slightly, and boom, significant energy savings without needing super expensive tech later.
Wow, okay. So data-driven decisions from the outset. I like that. But just doing the analysis isn't enough, right? You have to use it.
Absolutely. That leads to the next key bit, synthesis and documentation. You have to actually show how those early analyses influenced the design. What changed because of that energy model? How did the water budget affect landscaping choices?
So connecting the dots, proving the process worked.
Exactly. It creates a feedback loop. The analysis informs the design evolves, maybe you do more analysis. It's documented, so everyone understands the why behind decisions.
And I assume this isn't just a pre-design phase activity. Does the collaboration just stop there?
Oh, definitely not. That's a critical point. Ongoing coordination is vital. This integrative mindset needs to carry through the entire project.
Through design development, construction?
Yes, and even into building operation. It's about maintaining that communication, that shared understanding of the goals, making sure the original intent doesn't get lost when, value engineering happens or construction challenges arise.
Right, keeping the vision alive. You mentioned our sources link this to high-performance, cost-effective outcomes. It really sounds like this IPc1 is the engine driving that.
It really is. And ENV5 gets quite specific. It mandates something called a design charrette during pre-design or maybe very early design.
A charrette, like an intense workshop.
Exactly. A focused, facilitated session. It needs to include the owner or their rep, plus people representing at least 4 key viewpoints. The examples they give are like the architect, a contractor, an energy modeler, maybe even someone focused on community engagement.
So ensuring that structured, equitable input happens early.
Precisely. It forces that collaborative discussion. And following that, or maybe as part of it, there's the ADV goal setting requirement.
Okay, what's that involve?
The team works together to define specific, measurable project goals. And these aren't just vague aspirations. They need to directly address EDV5's main impact areas.
Which are?
Decarbonization, quality of life, and ecosystem conservation and restoration. So things like setting a target for operational carbon reduction, or specific indoor air quality benchmarks, or maybe a goal for restoring habitat on the site.
And these goals actually get written down somewhere official.
Yes, they have to be incorporated into the owner's project requirements, the OPR. That makes them formal project objectives, guiding the team throughout.
Okay, let's talk payoffs. All this early effort, the meetings, the analysis, what are the big wins for a project team and the owner?
Well, the benefits are pretty compelling, actually. First off, you get much smarter, more informed decision-making right when it's cheapest and easiest to make changes at the very beginning.
Avoiding costly mistakes later on.
Exactly, which ties into the second big benefit, cost effectiveness. By identifying sustainability strategies early, you can often find simpler, cheaper ways to achieve performance goals. It's way more efficient than trying to bolt on green features later.
Like integrating passive design instead of just adding more solar panels after the fact.
Precisely. And maybe the most crucial benefit, honestly, is the enhanced team communication and alignment. When everyone understands the goals and the why behind the design from the start, you get less friction, better collaboration, and everyone pulling in the same direction.
It just sounds like a fundamentally better way to approach a complex project like a building. Less siloed, more integrated, I guess.
That's the perfect word for it. It's shifting from a linear handoff process to a truly interconnected, holistic one.
So wrapping this up then, our deep dive into LED5's Integrative Design Process, IPc1, really highlights this shift towards early, collaborative, and data-driven teamwork.
Yeah, that's the core message. It's about bringing the right people together at the right time, using analysis to guide the way, and keeping that conversation going.
And the result is buildings that, well, work better for people, for the budget, and for the planet.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It really makes you pause and think, doesn't it? How could these principles, that early collaboration, the holistic view, data informing decisions, how could that apply to other complex challenges we face, maybe totally outside of construction?
That's a fascinating thought. The potential is definitely there.
And it's definitely food for thought. And if you want to keep exploring these kinds of ideas in the world of design, innovation, and sustainability, make sure you subscribe to The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another